Hello, how you doing? Mike Bradley, hope you're doing well as always. Now, it's been a bit of a nightmare week for me this week. People on my Facebook page and Instagram would have seen that my Telecaster's died. My Cornford amplifier died yesterday. And then behind me, I've got my old Marshall JCM 2000. And this is the first time I've turned it on since last year. I did a video in it. And the smell of smoke coming from this amp. I thought, oh, it hasn't been on for about a year or so, so maybe it just needs warming up. But no, this has pretty much just died as well. So I'm not having a good week. But I thought to cheer myself up, let's do another Q&A video for you guys. Thank you all so much for sending your questions in. Had quite a few come in. I'll try and get through a few now. That makes sense. And yeah, let's get cracking. Right, so first question is from Jason Bowman, a name I can actually pronounce. And he's put here, hey Mike, great video. He loves my multiple camera, split screen videos. But he's asked, who was your inspiration to play the guitar? Very cool question, thank you. So how I got into playing the guitar and music in general is interesting really. I mean, if I cast back, I remember always being fascinated with music, and one of my earliest memories is completely dancing like a maniac to a Real Petite. She's a real petite to the fan, rapping for me. Da, 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 whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'm going nuts over that, and I remember again I mentioned Back to the Future so much in my videos, doing air guitar a lot to that when I was a kid, and Big, doing the piano thing in the film Big. But when I was a kid, all my friends down my road were a lot older than me. So when I was 10, I was hanging out with 14, 15, 16 year olds, which wouldn't really happen now, but hey-oh. And they started a band. I was a little kid wanting to get involved, and they kind of gave me a bass guitar, like a half-size bass, which is the same size as an electric guitar, normal electric guitar, I suppose. I remember being in my mate's garage one Friday night for about 6 hours, and I remember doing the part. My little part I did was, so I have to turn on the amp, I don't know if it's going to work, but something like that was my part. I just did my thumb. The amp's the size of the work now, look at that. But yeah, so that's how I got into guitar, I suppose, but I didn't want to play guitar, I wanted to play drums. And I badgered my mum for ages to have a drum kit, and she wouldn't let me, saying it'd be too loud and that you can have a guitar. So I was like, yeah, alright. So it was kind of like second choice, you know. I was like, I can't have a drum kit, I'll get a guitar. And that's how I started playing the guitar, basically. Now, as you asked for inspiration, I remember going to the 1997 guitar show, 97-98 London guitar show. And up to that point, I thought Noel Gallagher was the greatest guitar player of all time, because that's all who I knew of at the time. Oasis was and Blur were the only guitar bands, and I liked the Oasis. But I remember going to the 97 and 98 guitar show, and I saw this long hair, curly hair guy with a Johnny Depp beard doing amazing guitar stuff. He was probably about 27, 28 years old, and I would have been about 13 at the time, something like that. And that guy was Guthrie Govan. And of course now Guthrie is very, very big in the guitar community, but at the time he was just a guitar teacher on the ACM stand. And I saw him, I was like, hang on a minute, Noel Gallagher doesn't do that. And then about an hour later I watched Paul Gilbert, a guy called Paul Gilbert, play in his orange suit. And I was like, hang on a minute, Noel Gallagher doesn't do that either. So yeah, that kind of opened my eyes. But then I got into Eric Clapton, and then Richie Sambora came along. I got really into him, massively into Richie Sambora. So yeah, going to that guitar show at the time, I was like, hang on a minute, there's more to life than 4 chords and the major pentatonic shape 4, you know. So yeah, that's my guitar history and inspiration there for you. The next question is from Matthias Layton, and he's put, hi Mike, I have a question. Fire away. What do you use to clean your guitar and your strings? I've recently bought a Fender Strat 60s edition, and it's my first expensive guitar. So I'm trying to keep it clean by cleaning the strings once a week. I currently use Dux Deluxe, but maybe better things to clean your instrument. Truth be told, mate, I don't. I don't clean my guitars really, very rarely, you know. So if it's really bad, you know, with my Nitro Solos guitar, or any guitar for that matter, you know, maybe once a year, if that, because I like my guitars looking worked, you know. So you work hard for that sweat on the guitar, leave it. Regarding my strings, I got fast fret if I need to. I've had the same one now up on my shelf here for about 6 years. So again, I hardly use that. You know, I change my strings, I try and change my strings quite regularly. But yeah, if you want to, you know, look after your strings, so to speak, you know, so you don't have to keep forking out, fast fret I think is great. But make sure you wash your hands before you play, maybe. But if you can, just if your strings are dead, no string cleaner is really going to do much, really, you know. So they're going to need new strings. So just try and find ways of getting cheaper strings, you know, looking online, and there's a place called Strings Direct, which I mentioned before. But personally, I don't really clean my guitars. I'm pretty lazy. Next question from Shaka X. EX, not sure what you've got as your surname, buddy. Hello. And he's put, hello, hope you are well. I've been a bedroom guitarist for a few years now. Do you have any advice for how I can get out there in the music scene? How does one begin to try and book live gigs and make friends with other musicians? Any advice would be appreciated. Great question, Shaka. How to get out there in the music scene. So first of all, you want to try and get in a band. If you want to put ads out in the local paper, if they still do that now, or guitar magazines, or there's online sites now where you can put guitarists available. There's Facebook groups. People are always looking for guitarists or drummers or whatever, you know, but just get yourself out on every single, you know, band group page on Facebook, you know, musicians wanted ads and stuff like that. Look at them, try and get in a band, or if you want to be a solo, try and get people in to play with you, you know. So yeah, get that. Now to play, book gigs, sometimes they're going to want a demo of you, some kind of EP, so try and get something recorded or something. But if you haven't got that, if you haven't got the funds to be able to afford to kind of get an EP, or haven't got the software, just start contacting local music venues if you require any opening support slots for bands. Sometimes it's pay to play, try and avoid them as possible. But yeah, there's plenty of kind of promoters who are looking for, you know, people to put on their nights. And another thing is to go to jam nights, open mic jam nights. I have gone to them over the years. They're a lot of fun to be had. Sometimes if you go to the hardcore ones, it's a little bit clicky. So you might have to test the water out a little bit and go to a few and see what you find. But there you got, no, usually it's, you get up on stage, do about 2 songs per person, something like that. But you're engaging with people who are in the same field of you there. You've got drummers there, bass players, singers, guitar players, all sorts. So they're quite good, and they seem to be the new thing to do now, to go to open mic jam nights. So yeah, check them out, and like I say, but more importantly, try and get a band going, you know. Keep me updated how you get on, buddy. Hope that kind of helps. Right, the next question from Turd Burglar. That's a YouTube name there. I got a difficult question and I urgently need help with. I don't want to continue practicing shit. And even after all these years, I struggle to palm mute the high E and B strings. I watch YouTubers and it seems like some lower their whole hand and mute the high E with part of their thumb, while others just seem to bring their thumb lower while keeping hand in same spot. Which one is correct way? Do you have any good video on this? Okay, Turd. So when you say muting, obviously you mean kind of getting the that kind of stuff. So I've just got my hand right down. So you want the side of your palm on the bridge. So if I take 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm kind of moving my hand as I go down. So that's what you want to do there. Make sure your side of your palm is on that bridge. When you're on the lower strings, move it down, mate. You can hear as well if you're right or not. If I'm too far forward, I'm there. You know, if I do it on a 6th string, kind of hear where you're right there, you know. that. So hopefully that kind of helped and answered your question there, buddy. Next question is from Lucas, and he's put, never really understood the difference between high action and low action. Also, what's your action setup? I feel like mine is really high and I'm just making it hard on myself. What action is the height of the string from the fretboard, okay, or the fingerboard. So the higher the action, the harder it is going to be to push down the strings. The lower action is easy to push down the strings. But there is a theory, and I do strongly believe of it, that the higher the action, the better the tone. I've got quite a medium action because I find if the strings are too close to the fretboard, it's harder for me to bend, and I like to bend on the strings. Alright, so I like to kind of bend. So if it's too low, I don't feel I get enough grip on the string when bending. Now the advantages of having a low action is that you hardly have to put any effort to push down the strings. And a lot of speed guys go for a low action because they can do their legato stuff, so I like to do slide stuff, I like to bend, so a medium action for me is where it's at. And if you listen to someone like Stevie Ray Vaughan, he had a very high action, his tone was huge. But again, it's a personal preference. Go for what you feel is most comfortable for you, But for me, a high action, if I want some gain, I want to be able to bend those strings, so having a medium action for me. This guitar is slightly higher than my Strats, for example. I do a lot of slide as well. I like playing a bit of slide guitar, and if I play slide, 99% of the time I play it on this, so I like a bit more height there for slide as well. So, but it's a personal thing, experiment, see what's right for you, mate. Right, last question today from Jose Rosman. Put here, hi Mike, I love your reviews. Thanks, buddy. You are amazing. Thank you, that's very sweet. Please help me with advice. I have an Epiphone Les Paul 1960 Tribute Plus and an American Stratocaster, and he's also got a Marshall SL5 amp and Yamaha THR-10C. I'm thinking to get a booster pedal. What do you recommend? I'm torn between the Seymour Duncan pickup booster and the treble booster. Oh, okay, cool. So firstly, check out my videos on the Seymour Duncan pickup booster, which I put below, and the Bigfoot Engineering treble booster. Now they're both great pedals. So if you pick either one, you're going to be really, really happy. Now I haven't played the pickup booster in a long time, so it's hard to remember what I think of it. I mean, first of all, it's Seymour Duncan, so it's going to be good. That's first thing. All of their pedals are great. I'm so blown away by their pedals. Now with the treble booster, that's an awesome pedal as well. So because the treble booster is fresh in my mind, like that works great with an amp which is already got a little bit of crunch to it already. As does the pickup booster, I think, as well. Like I say, it's hard for me to kind of remember. But if I do remember rightly, the Seymour Duncan does work great with a clean amp if you've got a clean set and you want to boost it, and if you want to have a dirty amp and boost it that way. And the treble booster works amazingly if you've got a little bit of crunch already on the amp to take it a bit more up, I wasn't a massive fan of it with the clean amp, just a clean amp. I need to experiment it a bit more. So in that respect, maybe try the Seymour Duncan. But check out my two videos below and you can get more of an idea. Like I say, it's a long time since I played a pickup booster. But if I remember rightly, it worked great with clean and with a slightly crunch as well. But they're both amazing pedals. Either way, you're going to be happy. So if you can, try out both and take it from there. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully that's helped the ones who I've answered the question to, and also everyone else. You know, 'cause a lot of times we've all got the same questions going in our minds, and then it takes someone else to ask it for the answer to get out there. But if you want your own question answered from little old me, head over to my Facebook page, and I will get back to you in very near due course. And I will see you on Friday, and hopefully I'll be in a slightly perkier mood. Sorry if I come across like I want to punch something. Like I say, I hate things going wrong, and equipment wise a lot of things have been going wrong, but ayo, you don't want to hear about that. Anyway, hope you're all very, very well, and I will see you on Friday. Take care. Mike Brady signing out.